So, Martin, the question that I have kind of goes back to what Todd said our last meeting. What is your new learning? I know you're putting an awful lot of time into showing, curating current pieces. Are there resources that you've identified to enhance what you currently know about differentiation and serving the needs of all students, and being inclusive, and the first one is about really not just knowing students as people, which is absolutely important, but as learners, and making sure that we're using language that supports their growth and learning.
Mm-hmm.
Are there resources that you've identified, and is there anything that we can do to support that?
Patrice, can I just ask, I tried to listen very carefully what you just said, and I hope I didn't misread. I just want to maybe clarify. The notion then is, and the premise is that I do not know my students as learners. Is that the charge against me then? That's what it sounded like.
Yeah, it's not a charge, Martin, at all.
Oh.
It's just, I know when you came to the first point,
Mm-hmm.
and the component, you said you were still cloudy about that one, so I wanted to elaborate to make sure that it wasn't. Yeah.
Right. Then I wasn't clear. Then I didn't explain it well, and I apologize. That's my fault then. Let me try to explain it better. And I hate to sound like a broken record, because I keep saying the same thing, and I know that probably gets tedious for you guys, and I apologize for that. I also hate to sound like I'm a braggart, that I keep tooting my own horn, I think is the expression. But I'm very, very, very good at knowledge of students. I am exceptionally good at reading my students and figuring out what they need, knowing them as people, forming relationships, being real with them. They know they can trust me. Educationally, their educational needs, their learning needs, I'm quite good at that. So what I was confused about, and the foggy part for that first one, is I need to know what you're telling me is wrong with what I'm doing before I can fix it. Do you understand what I mean? Like, I can't just be told, you have to tell us how you're going to improve, without telling me what I've done wrong. That's the part that I need. I have to have a very concrete sort of definition of my deficiency, of where I'm flawed. Once I have that identified, and once you have made that clear to me, then I can say, aha, here's what I'm doing wrong, here's what's missing, here's what's deficient. Now I know where to go to make, to improve. Now I need to know what to look for, what kinds of things I need to watch out for, and try to enhance my practice in that way. But unfortunately, I still haven't been told that. I've been told only what to me seems vague in terms of what I've done wrong in my classroom. I've been told that I made comments about honors classes that were concerning, and I've been told that I made derogatory comments about students in biology meetings. So the first one, the disagreement about the honors biology, I thought I was having a conversation with the administrator at the time, that we were having a friendly discussion, and I thought we could discuss educational philosophy, and I didn't realize that my disagreement on that point would be then held against me. That I was very surprised about. The second issue, being accused of saying derogatory comments and negative comments about students in department meetings, I am flabbergasted at that accusation, because I never say anything negative about students in department meetings. I love my students. I praise them any chance I get. I talk about how awesome my classes are and how much I love teaching them, and other teachers get annoyed with me because I do it too much. I had an incident recently, a few weeks ago, in the hallway where I ran out of my room and I saw somebody coming out of the room, and I'm like, oh my God, my class was so great. They were amazing. And I think he was having a bad day, and he just kept walking. I might have just annoyed him. But so that's the part I'm just really, really confused on, and that's the part that's foggy. So to me, saying something about honors biology and I don't know what to say about that other accusation, but that to me doesn't mean that I don't know my students. I need to be told exactly what I did in the classroom that led you to that conclusion. That's the really, really confusing part to me. In the 2 meetings that we've had so far, that still hasn't come out. So once I know my baseline, once I know the flaws, and I have got it very concretely laid out, then I'm going to work on, I'll be much more effective at coming up with an improvement there.
Martin, I would break it down into 2 different segments inside of 1.2. The first being kind of something that has carryover with 1.5 and 1.6,
okay,
which is designing learning opportunities and designing learning that meets the needs of varied levels of students. So that's back to the differentiation piece from instruction. That's back to providing opportunities for varied pathways of assessment for students. Again, not necessarily modifying the end result, but providing different paths to get there. You know, you can drive different ways to get to almost said Miller Park, American Family Field from here, but at the end of the day, we all get there, no matter what streets or what highways we took. So it's recognizing that different students have different needs in that learning area, and that's what we talked about from the start. It's the second half. It's respects academic strengths and areas of growth around the learning trajectory in providing intentional pathways for kids to get there in different ways. Mm-hmm. The other piece is something we talked about in the last meeting. You referenced it right now, and I just want to highlight it again. You self-profess that you regularly use humor and at times sarcasm in the classroom, and for many students that works well, but for some students they can feel offended or marginalized by that, and that's
so you've had complaints from my students that had hurt feelings or something, because that I was not aware of. Were there students that were marginalized in my class?
No, but I would say, Martin, you said it yourself. I mean, you've offered it up in conversation yourself that you use humor and that you use sarcasm at times in the class.
Then you misinterpreted what I said. I apologize for that too, because I'm not making myself clear. I use humor in a way that's very effective and that makes students love my class. All students, not just a few. I'm about all the students, so I'm not going to do something that's going to marginalize some of the kids and get them to, hate coming to my room and not wanting to be in there and whatever. That's not something I do. The way I do that is highly effective and is appreciated by all students. Otherwise, trust me, you would be hearing about it. You would be getting complaints. You'd be getting parent phone calls. So I'm very, very careful with that, and my sense of humor is an asset, not a deficit. And if you'd like to interview my students, I beg you, please do. I would not mind if you did. If you pull them in and ask them questions about my class. So once again, I told you last time I was hurt, and I'm feeling pretty hurt by the accusations I'm getting, and the one you just mentioned with me, the fact that I in conversation mentioned to you that I use humor in the classroom, and that you now would say that is a problem with my teaching is quite shocking to me. I am perplexed. So I don't know what to say, to be honest. Well, I said a lot, but I'll shut up now.
All right. Well, I do need to run. Is there anything else that you need right now from us for support or clarity, Martin?
It's fine if you go. Thank you for taking the time this morning, and I know you had those other meetings. Todd, I don't know if you got a chance to respond to me because of the time crunch at the end. Did you still want to respond to what I said to you, or are we all set? I mean, Terry, you can go, but if Todd wants to still talk to me, he can stay on.
Martin, I don't. I'm referencing more your conversation about humor and sarcasm. And I never say that humor can't be used in a classroom. It needs to be used very carefully and mindfully And while you may present not you, but anyone may present something with the intention of it being humorous, you can never fully control how it's received. And those are the challenges within.
So you're convinced that I'm incorrectly using humor in the classroom?
I'm not convinced. I would say I'm concerned.
You're concerned, based on what I told you about my humor and using humor as a teaching tool. All right.
It's a piece of evidence, Martin. Yeah.
Piece of evidence. Okay. All right.